Listo.
El intérprete se conectó a la de español, ya se está conectando a la de inglés, ¿listo?
Listo, vale. Hola, buenos días. ¿Cómo estás, Adriana? Con gusto. ¿Le estoy llamando?
Ya estamos aquí adelantando un tema con el máster para estar al aire con la traducción. Muchas gracias. Tenemos un problema interno técnico. En un segundo estamos al aire. With the incomes, we're going to have a decrease in our 2,000 million pesos. We're going to highlight the utility with 2,000 have reduction of 21%. This is mainly because of a negative exchange to a portion because of the debt and significant because of the deferred taxes, because it's not a flash code. Finally, we just get it an organic reading. It's just one of the investments. Reading $63 million as well. We decreased just a downfall because of the acquisition of something that it has in this period as well. And this year, and finally, up to the right, we have a debt net of Ebitda 3.2 with 2 points to the down. And after, we're going to have this reflect the capacity of investment and with this leverage. With these 2 years. Next slide, please. In terms of involving with the community and this corporative, we highlight, we have been implementing just the reform to extend the corporate we had an increasing from 3 to 5 of the members with just an increasing as well. We defined the minimum of women in our board of trustees with 3 women, which is currently we have these of 3 of the board of trustees with trajectory and everything. And in addition, we have some measurements where we have the gradual situation we related to the board of trustees, where we're going to have to keep the corporate historical and to renew the board of trustees to bring some members with new stockholders with new ideas as well with these kind of things. And after, we're going to start talking with this 21%, of course, with 2 women in the board of trustees from Cali as well. So according to what is happening and luckily with communities and all these kind of instructions and these kind of things with the significant of poverty, we need to contribute here 2 million of the district related to COVID causes as well, and it's going to help to the communities. And afterwards, we deliver 2,500 million of medical equipments as well in 3 municipes. And after, we're going to start working, we're talking about this and related to those rural. And in Cali, we just have the municipality of Lima as well, with the Solidary Ollas as well, in order to assist some communities related to COVID. And afterwards, we highlight at Cali participation of integrity participants as well, where we got a certification with 0 corruption with this initiative as well. So always with this with all this, with this group as well, and in this, with this trajectory in this way. Next slide, please. At the beginning with this financial thing as well, what we know about everything what we're gonna happen in Tehi with the incomes as well because of the contracts, we're gonna start talking with this part of the group with these codes and with this download of these things. The main topic that we have is TGA with this important thing, and after we just delivered 38 million pesos, like a reduction. We're going to explain a little more related to administrative expenses of 31 decrease, delivering 34 million pesos in order to have a compensation. And according to this, we're gonna go here to the left, the incomes, with these kind of numbers as well. So we will have this scratch as well and doing the delivery related to the costs and the business of distribution of natural gas as well. It has a real contribution related to this efficiency with this amount, and TG is going to be able to compensate as well in the direct costs directly. We're talking about related to, we're going to have reduction in these incomes, and that shows that we're talking about the expenses and costs as well in huge topics. In administrative expenses, GEB contributes the total of the reduction with 36,000 million pesos. They implement this support as well. Resignation of expenses of some teams and some personnel as well that we should classify. We were specified like TGA as well is a net, is a positive net with its contribution as well. And as we were saying in the presentation, there is a huge plan in detail, of course, in order to achieve better savings or to have a under-counter situation because of the incomes. Next slide, please. In the Ebitda is the one who can highlight 6.9% of the income and increasing as well. That's why we have been, so we receive more than that. We have applied the policy of 70% during the latest 4 years, and we can see down loud how it can help us the profits related to this part, related to this point, so when increasing of this part as well. This effect and the relationship with partners, it has a compensation related to these kind of things with the gas natural, and this is just a reduction. It is not a recurrent option, mainly because of at Peru, ISA, when in 2020 we have so that's why we have this kind of thing. So in the Ebitda and the control ones are related to the losses. We have a little bit loss in natural gas of 5,000 in mentioned related to TGA and increasing of 1%, 1,000 million pesos, I'm sorry. related to 5% and taking into account this change. So we have a positive way on that part and behold. Net profit. So we have this story here. We have a mixed history because the mains of this part that increase that is an increasing of this side as well. According to the increasing and shows a really important impact with the non-organic increasing, and to the right the two increases and operationals. And how the rest of the companies or the other companies can show us an increase in its participation itself. I insist that this is just a reflect of the portfolio because all of those companies are contributing in a really important way. And we have finally a different, and we have an increase in of the 51% because of the first a little bit related to the millions. And mainly we're talking about the bonuses that we can see in 2030. Even of the deferred taxes is going to be a really important change because the last part we have 189,000 profit and this guy 150. That's because of the change of the taxes and the exchange ratios as well, because the utility that doesn't mean just a cash flow or something. So there are some topics that we're going to be in a long term. Next. Well, in terms of composition of the debt, there is just a little bit discount, of course. And we have some changes in this part. 189 debts or millions to the right. In fixed rate as well. This is very positive in this scenario because many analysts that some interest rate increases and not only having a fixed rate, but with the graphic to the right with a portfolio, we have some modulations in the long term and medium term as well. A long of 8 years, it means that you have an stability and those rates of interests. Up to the right. So we're going to have an acquisition of interest as well. It's too many significant. We don't have some relevant scratches to the 21 or 22, and the next deadline is just the bonus of Cali $200 million in order to see when we're going to be able to do an efficient operation of management and to extend that maturity, of course. Next. In terms of CapEx, what we could do is to invest $63 million. This is a 5% of increase in, well, with a measure in organic terms as well. The 9% we're gonna cover with $5 million additional dollars, and mainly on Cali and the transmission business as well. Even though we're gonna have we are over our budget of investments, things don't flow as the speed as we want, we would like in terms of interaction as a consecution and authorizations. So it's very important, of course, for that kind of investments as well, related to what is the dark green. It's included transmission lines, which are paramount for the country. Are really important for the country as well. We're trying to look for some licenses with the dialogues with the communities as well. And an institutional key, of course, to execute those investments, and the infrastructure and the transmission of the country will be bigger in order to have this intention to contribute to the country in these coming years, enhancing the number of connections, of course. We're evaluating the possibilities to have a bigger contribution, of course, to the partnership, and to be able to have a good coordination with the governments. And finally, there is the functional lines, which are the investments and the needed investments, and Texas related to PET as well. And according to these things, and it's going to have improving this, and we're really committed with this as well. Absolutely, to end these investments plans up. A return related to the heritage, which has an increase in related to 12 months, and reflects just the result in 2021 related to the loss that we mentioned before of 20% of the net of this semester of this year. And finally, in the cash flow, we need to highlight 1.585 million pesos, almost $500 million in the cash flow. In order to have some inorganic related to the investments, according to a really good future as well. This is just the briefly of the main points. I don't know, Valeria, maybe if you want to, Juan Ricardo is here to tell his words, or we give the floor of, maybe we're gonna go through Q&A sessions. First of all, Q&A sessions, and afterwards we're gonna have too many in the chat. There are two that maybe you can continue collaborating as well. And the first one is Andres Duarte from Coffee Colombiana. How could be the agreement with Enel, the 90% of the layout related to this understanding? Well, thank you, Andres, but particularly there is not news here. Related to this enhancing, enabling to improve this generation with the partner, related to the GEB in the long and the short and long term. So we continue with these negotiations. You need to know that they have a lot of things in detail, because we have a point of view which is really important in order to orientate and with the direction of these dividends. Of course, we have been working on finding this middle point in order to not to get these benefits, and to help to be able not to increase these kind of things. And to know about the know-how related to these kind of things with intelligent portfolio as well. Okay, thank you, Jorge. There is another questions related to MedLife as well. A downgrade of Colombia to W8 match because of Fitch. What is the impact that we're waiting for it in these bonuses as well? Yes, Well, we do believe there are two elements. These kind of things, there are some technical criteria as well, but the things of the diversification of geographical of the incomes and the high productivity of our cash flows as well, and related to the resiliency that we have despite of the pandemic and those kind of things with too many on the crisis related to the economical part. The sector has been having a behavior. I need that needs to have a behavior itself in order to know, not necessarily to be in matching with what is happening with the nation. And I see this is just a point of view related to our task and some other things related to our kind of things. And we have these kind of things, and there are really, really strong points of view as well. Thank you very much, Jorge. There is another question from Diego Huitrago from Bancolombia. It says, the effects of the taxes and the diminishing of the expenses, operational expenses, is going to be in this through this coming. So I guess he's doing some reference to industry and trade as well, and the distribution of the dividends as well, per se. Well, Diego, I do believe there is a huge part of the industry and commerce when it's going to be a recurrent topic. And I guess Julio is doing a little bit because we need just an enhancing in just in a particular moment, because the main element on this, there is just a recurrent topic in this case as well. Well, Diego, as Jorge said, it's just a recurrent topic here because it has been, we're going to talk about an flashco effect related to causation effect. This is just the change of in this kind of things, in the way we're just receiving this kind of cash flow as well, because it's not going to be a recurrent in this case. Thank you very much, Jorge and Julio. We have somewhere from Juan Diego Paredes, so from Banking Corporation as well, which were the basic determinants in order to have the current leverage, the Ebitda 3.2 against 3.3, and what is the sustainable conditions related to those situations in time 2021 to 2022 and more. In addition, which is the objective of this indicator in order to this have and 2022. Thank you, Juan Diego. And we have a reimbursement for a little credit, $10 million in Peru, and that was the reimbursement. However, there was a devaluation of the quarter related to the debt as well. It has a compensation in part of this increasing of Ebitda as well. So we do believe 3.2 is a little low level, that we need to start working on a higher leverage related to the operation, because it doesn't require too much cash flows. We're talking about $63 million. In terms of organic issues, and well, definitely what we achieved in this part with this business idea in order to invest, as you said, it's kind of difficult to try to find this kind of difficult positions, because we're trying to look for them every single day, because we know that it's really important, because it's an enhancing situation in this case. And well, we're going to have a topic in Buenaventura that we're going to start assessing and as an awareness things in order to participate in that convocatory. But the adjustments of, for example, of the issue for the cash flow and organic callbacks, we had some successful situations in the latest acquisitions as well, and what these kind of things, and the level of leverage as well. Ebitda level 4 is really doable with this qualification, that we have this kind of investments according to the investment level as well. And with this kind of thing, this is just binary events because we can get an acquisition and that is going to generate some changes in the Ebitda level. And as mentioned before, because that's the objective, more than the objective is just the limit that we're going to start believing is sustainable and optimizes, of course, the potential to have these finance leverage as well and a very good access to these kind of situations and the markets of credit that we've got, maybe because of the international bonuses markets of locals of the bank that maybe they have some good intentions in order to have some increases and to materialize them as well. Thank you very much, Jorge. We're going to change just a little bit the financial topic in order to go some more questions related to projects as well. Freddy Zuleta, in this case, can you elaborate as well with this answer? First of all, question from Corficol Colombia. The state of the collecting line, it will start in 2024. Do you know the level of the advance of the solar panels in order to connect? And Freddy, also associated to this, they have been asking us, and there are too many questions related to what kind of effects would have been happening, and we can have all these situations with these public things that is happening in Colombia. Well, Valeria, yes, good morning, everyone. And indeed, of course, every single project that we are existing in the Caribbean region as well, and specifically in La Guajira. But of course, we need to have some similar problematics as well, because those projects, they have some common characteristics with the relationship with the communities at times as well. And in order to be able to ask for those kind of things as well, it has been having a delayed or pandemic or because of the strikes as well, protesters as well. And of course, there is a relationship because of the COVID and the possibility that we have, because there is a contagious as well, in order to extend the meetings as well. And we need to start programming these kind of things because of the CAP, because it's just a process of divulgation in this case, and to move forward in the time as well. We have been moving forward because we have related to the 60C agreements that we have from 2020, and we're going to have establishing this kind of previous deals as well. So the process is moving forward. It's a little bit slower. Obviously, all of us, we want to be moving forward as well, but definitely this is the dynamic. And in order to be able to related to this convocatory in November 20, related to this ministry, the vice ministry, October 2023, and where is in order to deliver the inconvenience and of course of the minds and energy and the competitiveness as well of the presidency in order to solve the topics, in order to be able to be near the most as possible in these cases as well, according to that date, and of course to generators in order to move forward, and even with them in some lines of connection that the ones we're working on too hard. So the project is gonna be in a maximum dynamic that the situation allows us, and keeping the expectation of those 23. Thank you, Freddy. So we're going to change a little bit to TGA, and we have Monica Contreras, this is the president, and Munevar, the financial president. We have a question from Diego Huitrago from Bancolombia. It says, over the current conditions with TGA, we reached an Ebitda of 80% within the pandemic. In the long term, what could be the Ebitda margin sustainable for TJB? Thank you very much, Valeria. Andres, within the financial projections that we've got and we have been sharing with the EBITDA margin in the middle term, let's say in the short term, it could be have a reduction as well, but in the long term, it's going to be within the 75% approximately. And this is thanks to all the strategy we have been sharing in our results and previous results as well, and in this one, and all the search and developments of the strategical pillars and enhancing and expansion as well, and all of the efficiencies that we have been working and we have been implementing of this part as well. Okay, thank you very much, Adriana. We can continue working, of course, with these questions with MedLife Nicolas Romo. Nicolas says, we're hoping more losses for increases for PG. Well, if you want, Veronica, I can answer of Adriana, maybe that you're in there. Okay, thank you very much, Monica. Well, to confirm, there's the only deadlines, expirations, and the long short terms related to the Ballena Barrancas. And we are leaving that impact as we have been anticipating since the last or previous semester. That loss is just approximately $118 million years. And so the next coming quarters, we're going to see the same effect as well. And to connect with the measures that we have been working related to the previous measures related to this drop here to this administration as well. We have been working with this strategy, and of course, the huge focusing that we have in these strategical pillars that we've got there, just one side to looking for this enhancing and expansion because we're capitalizing as well as we reported yesterday, and we're still continue working on that in a really hard way, capturing this opportunity of development of new incomes as well on the other side. And in a long term as efficiency, when we've got an objective for this year and savings at least $18 million that we confirmed yesterday, but we go for more. I don't know if you want to say something else. Our objective is continue working this, Adriana's, of course, and he was mentioned, hopefully in the 80% related to this answer, according to Adriana's answer, is to say, well, because of two more efficiencies as well, we have been capturing in the second semester of the year in a robust way, because we need to start establishing these kind of results. It's going to be a little bit harder in the second quarter related to incomes. Remember that the way this business is designed is to recover incomes in the short term deadlines or expiration contract as Ballena Barrancas, which really meaning loss of 20% of the incomes of the GPE that we did the last year, the previous year that happened in December. In fact, we feel really proud because we're going to be able to recover in the first quarter of the year 7 million of incomes for the business itself. That in fact we have new modules to operate with new products that we have. We need to have been establishing in a really in order to work as a part of the incomes according to the PG as it belongs and the margin. We have another question from Thomas Lemus from Barings. It says, hello, TGA. We have WAC, dollars, pesos, the estimated time of application. Okay, Adri, I don't know, is it Juan Pablo or you go? Can you repeat, please, Valeria, the question? Sure. Can you give us an update related to regulations, WAC, currency, pesos, dollars, and application estimated time? That question is relation with this resolution 160 that resolution with some comments in the last year. And we have all the comments, including the concerns that this generates from the financial structure. However, up now, we haven't had a resolution when we begin with working with all the resolutions and the answers and discussions that we have been discussing or talking about it, because in June we're going to have the resolution, the answer, or July, but it's not a certain thing that that's going to happen in that resolution. On the other hand, related to the PAC, we're going to have some advances. And Ivan, there are some recent adjustments. We're going to do the final calculations. We're anticipating that the tariff will be just 2 digits, a little bit over what we have been estimating according to the previous year when we had been talking about that resolution. Thank you, Adriana. I do believe for closing these GEB questions, this is the general questions that we've got to every single operations, an idea for related to the with TGE. Catherine, could you tell us the impact of the spectrum relating to the blocks that we have been working 1 month in Colombia? And I have another question from Juan Carlos Alvarez from Kelly Albert, I recall, that says is also doing a reference to the same thing. So can you give us the vision related to this topic, please? Well, basically, what we've got is very important, and thank you very much for the question as well, but it's really important to mention that from this point of view, TGI, in order to all these difficulties as well that are happening in the Colombian market, we're being offering our level of services. We haven't had any precaution that's full of satisfaction according to that, because obviously, logically, we have been working and facing to the distributors that in fact they have been affected in these kind of things, because you have seen this diminishing of the operation, of course, with all satisfaction that it has been delivering these satisfaction levels line with we have been working and with these plan of extensions related to services as well. We have been having some stalls of vehicles when some employees have been or partners have been mobilizing, but nothing that has been affected the service, which is really important. It's relevant for the industry as well as everything was related to homes. Thank you, Monica. So we also have Juan Ricardo as well, and he also is going to be able to present a little bit and go deep in on these questions that do a reference in general terms of all the operations in Colombia, because we have been working in this because of Ingensa, Codensa, and Ebitda, and Juan Ricardo, please. We give the floor to you. Okay, well, in fact, we have been seeing a panorama, a positive panorama related to increasing the situation of dialogue as well, related to these things, the interest of this kind of increasing, of course, related to these opportunities of the new offers for some investments in the Guajiras. We're working together to be ready to these kind of things in order to do these value things of this Codensa, because of the investments is going to be really important as well, because related to this is really important as well to reach the intelligent things, and the intelligent mediators, of course, of the city is going to be able to negotiate just an agreement of the lighting as well. Related to these kind of things, and all of kind of things, and these teams, because of the part of the strength of the digital technologies and the analysis capability related to data as well, in order to see how we can see huge opportunities of increasing in the city, and of course to be able to start establishing these kind of technologies. Thank you very much, Ricardo. We have a question related to Argo from Andres Argo. And please remember while we had been working on these kind of things. Argo, and in this part, we're working on these kind of things. The previous year, we have been having some 7 of them because of the Brazilian market is very competitive, so we couldn't accomplish it. But we hope this year we'll be able to be ready of these kind of things in order to have the next possibility to work on that, in order to continue on working on those kind of things, in order to have and certainly things as well. We have another question from a really good estimation. We're going to start working on this democratization process related to the Chaco contingency what the mayor just announced. It's just a decision related to the stockholders. It's not ours because we're ready to start working on that, and we do believe that is good a decision from the group as well, as well for the district itself. Okay, thank you, Juan Ricardo. So we have two more questions related to this topic, and well, Jorge Vargas is asking us because just good morning. What kind of updates can you deliver us in order to conflict with Enel? We can hope some good news in these coming quarters. And finally, how much do you think to gather relating to the dividends as well, of course? In these things. Topics are really advanced, so there is a good climate, a good environment as well. We're working related to this agreement that we can present to the public. And the Vivienda Corredores is asking about Enel, so we can have an update in how could be ended up the integration. What about the implication that we have related to these kind of things? Well, we have all the capacity to have capability to have this kind of increasing because we have some positive perspectives as well, and to guarantee, of course, the strength related to that vehicle. Of course, with rails and with teamwork, understanding that the future of both companies are working together related to the benefits that we're working in this energy related to the city and the capability to be able to develop these projects of generation as well in regions where definitely the group is no matter what is the leader of that infrastructure. Thank you very much. We don't have any more questions related to the chat. I don't know if you want to give us some closing messages to every single person who are here. Well, thank you very much for being here with us, for having me here. We're really committed with a strategical plan as well, and we have some solid teams as well. We're going to continue working and extracting the company, as you can see, of course, related to these corporative plans is going to be increasing and in a very hoping in the future to have better results and better digits as well in order to work to related to guarantee preservation of documents and the accountability that every single stockholders and the transparency and all these kind of things. We have very good partners. That's why we're really optimistic as well. And the world has been telling us the last report, and the last report of energy has been highlighting the electrical industry as a winner sector, and of course we're gonna bet in a really aggressive way and according to the competences as well in the country and in the region as well, God wants we're gonna be the leaders from Mexico to Chile, even Brazil as well, and the transmission of energy, which is our main focus in as well in this case. Well, thank you very much. I don't know, something came up, and in addition, of course, Thomas Leimus as well from Barings. I'm not pretty sure if it's already answered. Could you give us a little bit color related to the impact of these terms of the strikes in Colombia related to the operations of the dividends possible minimum dividends to receive, especially with the distributors as well. I do not believe there is going to be an impact in that way because clearly it has been increasing. The consumption of energy, something dropped, but well, it was just a loss. And in this case, we're going to be able to work to this Caucasus thing because the situation has been a little bit more complex because there's a huge strength. I guess it's a little bit more expensive in the systems because it's related to these incomes. And of course, the bigger strength has been, maybe they don't have a higher impact because of higher, better infrastructures in our country. Well, perfect, Juan Ricardo. So thank you very much. We don't have any more questions in the chat. So thank you very much to all external interests and the internal as well for always being here, ready to answer all our debts as well. We remember all you guys, all this information related to delivery of results is available in our webpage in the stockholders section related to financial investments as well. Was really, I hope you had the opportunity because of the first time we launched all the package related to, I hope will be really helpful to all of you and all your analysis as well. And we hope receiving all your comments in order to continue improving, in order to give the best information that you can require. And as usual, from the area, from relationships and investors as well related to this conference and these results of however that would be. And thank you very much and have a great day. In Colombia, with the transmission of CGI, we placed the operation with new assets. At Peru, we reached just 1 million of new things in 621 clients, customers happy with this. We reached 86% of the construction of the pets as well. In 2021, we accomplished 125 years leading energy and making progress. We're going to continue a little bit more and improving lives as well.